Darrell Samson was born on December 6, 1957, in Quinemont, West Virginia. Very little is known about him in his life, though his parents seem to have been Julius and Dolores. Darrell had an older brother named Harold, who was born in 1955. The amount of information on Darrell is so scant that even the plethora of books written about John Wayne Gacy can only manage to mention the date his body was recovered or successfully identified. At some point, in some way, Darrell met John Wayne Gacy. The last day that Darrell was seen alive was on April 6, 1976. Darrell was murdered barely a month after Gacy's divorce from Carol Hoff being finalized. Darrell's murder was the beginning of a mass spree of killings that Gacy would commit in 1976. Despite looking through the news archives, I could not find any potential missing persons articles about Darrell before his body was identified. When John Wayne Gacy was arrested and his property searched, Darrell Samson's body was the 29th recovered. Interestingly, he was found under the dining room floor, the only one to have been buried at the Gacy home in that fashion. Darrell's body was recovered on March 16, 1979. His cause of death was considered to be asphyxiation, as a cloth-like material was found in his throat. This would be consistent, actually, with the way Gacy would murder his victims, and in documentary since his execution, it has come out that some of Gacy's victims actually died from choking on the cloth shoved into their throats, not necessarily the physical other things Gacy would do to them. Whether Darrell was actually dead when he was buried is unknown, but it is possible that he might not have been and choked on the cloth instead. At the time that he was buried under the kitchen, it has been said that Gacy was doing renovations on his house, which might have been why Darrell was buried there. An article from the Daily Republican Register quotes Darrell's mother saying that she called authorities in several states looking for her son, and, to quote, said, "Here in Chicago, I found myself walking the streets at night looking for him. I wore blisters on the bottom of my feet. I burned up 4 cars trying to find him." When given the death penalty, Dolores was quoted again in another article. She said, "I hope the execution goes on as scheduled. He executed my son. I hope he burns in the chair. And then, I hope he burns in hell." She stated that when the death penalty was announced, I had to clap my hands.